and welcome back to Cinemavino.
Yep.
Have you guys here. Happy New Year to everybody out there. Thank you guys for rejoining us.
Hope you had a good Christmas, had a good Hanukkah,
All the holidays.
Kwanzaa.
Good everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hope they were good to you. We're going to start a sci-fi series. And ironically, our big sci-fi proponent is not here for this.
Of course not.
Yeah.
Hey, we can carry the torch.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, exactly. Travis is actually rebuilding his patio right now, so he's deep into that. He's doing the lattice around the exterior. So
Yeah. Well,
he's learning about wainscoting.
yeah.
So
Is it wainscoting or wainscoting?
I'm not sure.
Well, that's an actor. Wainscoting?
Yeah,
Isn't that an actor? Okay.
Yeah,
What was he in?
he was the guy in Married with Children. He's part of the.
Oh, I thought it was a guy from American Pie.
Okay.
Oh, Sean William Scott.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
And to be fair, I'm not sure what wainscoting even is.
It's
No.
it's where you do like little appliques on your wall.
Okay.
You-
To be
like,
fair,
when-
I'm not sure what appliques.
When you
either.
see like the little squares that are kind of like out with like edging,
Yeah.
and then it's like painted over to look like part of the wall,
Okay.
that's wainscoting.
Okay. So it's
The
a
more
wainscot.
you know.
Yeah.
You said it about doing his patio, and that made no sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
It's going to be a super nice patio, though.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. The beautiful finishes.
Here it has wainscoting.
Yeah. And nice chrome poles everywhere. So nice.
The ones that spin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of DIY. I do a lot of that.
DIY.
Yeah.
That's me.
DIY.
So anyway, we're drinking some 15% red wine here. We got Australian wine for our movie The Road Warrior, which makes a lot of sense. Mr. Black's Little Black Book, 2017, Shiraz, Barossa Valley. Great wines out of Australia. They make big, burly, fruity, in this case, meaty reds. They're just big old honking reds.
Big old meat bomb.
Yeah. I get kind of some port texture to this. I don't know about you guys, but like the little bit kind of that raisiny, fortified.
Yeah.
You definitely get like the tannins like drying out your lips just touching it.
Yep.
You know,
It's big. And
he'll chap you.
it's funny because this is 2017. So, I mean, this may still have some years left to mellow out. It may not be as mellow as it's going to be. So, but yeah, I'll post a link to this and check this out. Mr. Black's Little Black Book, 2017 Shiraz. So, yeah, it's an Australian wine for our very Australian movie, one of the iconic Australian movies, and one of the iconic Australian franchises of all time.
Yeah.
It's not as good as The Dish.
That's very true. It's another movie Travis would champion.
Yeah, that's why I said
Were he
it.
here. So, but we'll post pics of that patio when he gets done. Check out the wainscoting. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Or wainscoting.
Yeah, either way. Well, I mean, if you go back a couple episodes, I didn't know exactly what a melon baller was. So, I'm
Like the little
little
spoon
spoon,
for
yeah.
ball and melon.
I'm still learning. So,
Well,
something new every day.
Yeah.
you learn something new every day.
Yeah,
This is an educational podcast.
it is.
Yes.
it is. Especially for no one more than the hosts. So the Road Warrior, as it was known in the United States, everywhere else in the world, this was Mad Max 2.
Yeah,
Electric Boogaloo.
that was confusing.
Yeah.
When we were trying to find the movie.
Yeah. So, yeah, and it's difficult because, I mean, that's how I grew up knowing this as the Road Warrior as a kid. I only found out later that it was known as Mad Max 2 everywhere else once I got on kind of IMDb and saw the posters for it. And it's because I knew it was Mad Max 2 because I was a big fan of Mad Max, the original.
What year did Mad Max, the original, come out?
79?
Yeah. So, yeah.
And then this was 82?
Yeah, I believe. This was 81, December 24th, 1981.
Okay.
And then you had Thunderdome, which is about 85. And then they had a fourth one that was rumored. I remember even in the 90s, they were talking about bringing back Mel Gibson for a fourth one that the director, George Miller, had a script and everything for, and it just sat on the shelf. And hell, they couldn't it was in turnaround, basically. They couldn't reach an understanding with George Miller and the studio. Warner Brothers couldn't.
Did you say Mel Brooks?
George, that would be a Mad Max.
That, yes.
I had to go. Did you say Mel Brooks?
Yeah.
George Miller.
No, but you. No, never mind.
We can go back and see. If
I would watch that one.
yes, that would be my Mad Max movie. Would be
Hell yes.
yeah. I mean, back in the day, I would say William. What's his name? Bill Pullman as Mad Max from Mel Brooks's group of people,
Yeah.
and then maybe like Billy Crystal's villain in heavy makeup.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that. So or classic. I mean, for this movie, like the bad guy in Road Warrior, I'd say John Candy, and just full, bondage garb.
Yeah. What was his name? Not Big Papa. It was like
in Fury Road, it was like a Morton Joe, and this one it was Lord Humongous.
Lord
Humongous. Yeah.
Just doing big fists.
And I remember
muscles.
I remember like on South Park when they spoofed that, when I think Cartman was dressed up as Humongous. He's like, just walk away, did the exact same voice. Just walk away. I will spare your lives. It was like spot on. I was like, that's the Road Warrior. That is random. This grossed $36 million against a $4.5 million budget. This had many times the budget of Mad Max, but not quite the same gross. Didn't gross as much as the. I was
going to say, $4.5 million budget seems small.
Yeah, and
for being such a successful sequel.
And I think the original Mad Max was actually like below six, like in six figures. Like $400,000 or $500,000.
You can tell.
And famously, George Miller, the director, was a doctor. He was a emergency room doctor who walked away from his like internship or whatever to become a filmmaker. So
fucking nerd.
Yeah. Because he realized when he was like kind of first doing his rotations that he didn't want to be a doctor, he wanted to be a filmmaker. So there you are. But yeah, this had many times the budget, which allowed director George Miller to more freely explore his vision for the franchise. That's why this has a very different look and feel from the first Mad Max, completely different aesthetic. And supposedly they say every installment of Mad Max gets deeper and deeper into the apocalypse and the wasteland and the dystopian future. It gets darker with every one.
Yeah, because the first one borders on being like
civilized.
Yeah. It's like civilization is deteriorating, but it's not gone.
Yeah. Right. There's still cops.
Yeah. He is a cop. He's just like sitting there with a radar gun and pulling over anybody that speeds.
And he is kind of the mirror for what society is. Like he's still kind of like living by law and order and still kind of part of society. And then with every movie, he gets a little bit further out into nothing.
Yeah.
Very influential film, particularly for Norma Morrisow's punk costume design. Dean Simler, who's a legendary cinematographer, his panoramic cinematography, who he later did Waterworld. He came back and did.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
it does make sense because Waterworld is just Mad Max on water.
Yeah. And then Miller's very ambitious staging of the action and stunt work, which kind of became his calling card for the franchise. So basic story, by this point, Mad Max is the man with no name, a la Clint Eastwood, kind of a wandering Ronin who gets into adventures. Basically, these movies kind of have the template where now he meets people, he gradually becomes more and more of a human being. He grows to like these people. He agrees to help them.
They need help. He's like, I don't want to help you. I just want gas.
Yeah.
And then they fall in love with each other.
Yep. And then at the end of the movie, after the job's done, he vanishes back into nothing till the next movie pops up.
That's right.
And so for this movie, as with the other movies, the final act of the movie is basically one big chase scene. And it's basically your payoff for the first two acts of, I would describe this as Australian weirdness.
Yeah.
It's two solid acts of just strangeness and how weird the filmmaker.
Australian John Waters.
Yes. It's like, how eccentric can we make this movie? Every scene you can feel like they were like, what do we need? We need a little feral child with a boomerang killing people.
With the glove.
Yeah.
Gotta have the glove.
Smart. Glove, yeah. And so, the final chase scene is awesome. I loved it as a kid. It was one of my favorite action scenes ever. And I told my wife watching it, like, think about this, like this, there wasn't no CGI back then. These stunt works and explosions and cars slipping real. Those were real things. So you're not watching something that's been doctored with special effects.
It really feels like the spiritual, not successor, but predecessor to the Mad Max that we've gotten recently.
Yeah.
Like Fury Road is this, but with a bigger budget and like bigger cast, bigger effects, bigger everything.
Yeah, it's the modern version of it. Yeah. So for me, it's like, we talk a lot about sequels that improve or build on their predecessor. We never talk about the Road Warrior. I never hear it anyway. And mentioned with, Godfather 2 or Empire Strikes.
Mel Gibson got a little weird.
He did. And we can talk about that later too, because it's like, I'll be curious to see what your guys' impressions of, like, because we just finished watching Scrooge and how Bill Murray affected our opinion of that movie. I'll be curious to see what you think about Mel Gibson in this one, because it's a different scenario. Because when we're talking about Bill Murray, we're talking about how he must have acted on set.
Right.
How everybody said he acted on set. But it's different with Mel Gibson because his controversy is off the set and after hours.
Yeah, and wasn't he like 20 something in this film?
he's super
early
young.
20s.
He's baby faced.
Yeah.
And he was not a big name.
No.
Like he was, because
This
he's
made him-
Australian for one.
Yeah.
Yeah, this made him a big name, and it's like the controversy of him is after. By all accounts, on set, he has always been a staunch professional,
Consummate professional.
and unlike the other people who have been canceled by Hollywood, etc., he had people fiercely defend him who worked with him, including some of the people who were in part of the groups that he was said to disparage.
Well, we all saw What Women Want. We know that he's an empathetic person.
He is, yeah. He can read minds.
That's right.
Yeah,
He understands what, complicated lives of women are.
I forgot about that.
that movie.
How could you forget about that?
Helen Hunt?
Yeah,
Was she? Okay.
yeah. That.
Helen Hunt's in that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who the. God, I haven't. Unfortunately, I think I saw that in theaters. I got to drink some wine on
Was
that.
that 2006?
Yeah, that's a social drink right there. That was before that. It's like 2000.
Oh, yeah. It was. I remember seeing that in theaters. Good. Oh,
Good gravy.
yeah. He owed me some money for that.
Had you guys both seen this movie before?
Yes.
Only the end. So I
Just
kind
the
of
chase scene?
just a chase scene. I never knew what happened at all. But I was like, so I just, and even like midway through, like I think, I was just only the chasing.
To be fair, plot doesn't really matter.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've heard George Miller say that like one of his goals is for people to be able to watch the movie with no dialogue.
Oh, that's what-
Still be able to follow it.
That's what the movie already is.
That's exactly what I was going to say. I was like, my first thing was like, because I hadn't seen it, but I first thought the name needs to be changed to Mad Max, the Booty Cheek Warrior. The amount of booty cheeks in this was just outrageous.
On whose behalf?
It's like, on everybody's, there's booty cheeks everywhere.
It's Australia.
It was like, there's just
gotta pass out.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I would want to know the amount of scenes that involve booty cheeks versus dialogue. There might be more butt cheek scenes than dialogue scenes.
close.
And
cheek per minute?
yes. I was like, I need to know those numbers. And like, which I'm fine with, because like that was going to be my biggest compliment to this film is like, I could have put this on mute.
But here's the thing. You know what they do well that other movies don't? This was all man booty cheek.
Yeah.
That is true.
This was not like an exploitative
That is true. Well, there was,
amount of nudity.
Man flesh.
yeah.
Man, there was
There was one, a little, yeah, but
a bit of rape.
Yeah.
yes.
Very graphic.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
graphic. Like I said, I watched this with my mom.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah.
That's just a smidge awkward.
Yeah. But
It's okay. She listens to the podcast.
yeah. But that is what I liked about it. It was like, you didn't need dialogue in this. And it was like, and I noticed that, I was like, man, they're not, I was like, is this what was supposed to happen? Like, they're not really talking.
Yeah.
And then like, you got what was going on. Like, I did not need to have, like, you need to watch this movie because it was like, which I did like a lot, but like, yeah, you didn't need dialogue in this at all.
Well, I think my interpretation of it is what they're trying to do is that like his character is so far, like when you're in like that wasteland, if you're in the apocalypse, like you don't have people to talk to. Like you don't talk.
Yeah.
That's true.
You just are minding your own business. You have a dog.
Yeah.
You occasionally run into, a guy with a helicopter
And a snake.
and a snake.
Yep.
But like those individual societies, like the people at the oil rig, like they talk to each other. They're very vocal.
Yeah.
They communicate. And then you have the whatever you want to call them, the S&M roving wanderers that they have their own language, which is very much just
Yeah. They speak a lot with the revving of their engines too. They do a lot of like demonstrations with their V8s, and they even have like flag people like kind of guiding them kind of crazy.
Which, like, again, it's the predecessor to Mad Max Fury Road, where they really dive into that idea of like that society and like understanding that better.
The mythology of it,
Like the main character, he doesn't talk, not because he's just like a silent protagonist, but because like he's disconnected from society.
Yeah.
And it definitely has that Clint Eastwood feel of the classic westerns that he did. Trivia note: the guy who played the captain, or the gyro captain, he was
in Star Wars.
The pilot. Yeah, he was. He was in.
He was the long-faced alien in
episode 3.
Episode 3.
Yeah, and in Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, he was the mouth of Sauron. Who rides out to.
He's got such a great character.
Really?
And terrible teeth.
Oh yeah. But yeah, he's got that thick Aussie accent.
Long face.
Yeah.
Very, very thin, long face.
Do you remember Return of the King, like the guy who rides out to talk to Aragorn, like the mouth of Sauron or whatever?
He gets beheaded.
That was him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's popped up in quite a few. I think he was in one of the Matrix sequels. So.
Oh, he was the train.
The guy in the subway.
The guy, the train keeper.
Yeah.
The guy.
He wasn't the key keeper. He was.
No, he was the train guy.
He was
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
It's been a while since I've watched the sequels of The Matrix.
So he's been in just about every nerd franchise. You know, he's popped up.
Has he been in Star Trek?
Probably somewhere.
Probably.
I mean, he'd make a great Klingon, you know, or something. He'd make a great alien.
He'd have to be his own alien race.
Yeah, he'd make a great alien. I'm sure he's popped up somewhere as an alien.
He's not buff enough to be a Klingon.
If they haven't cast him as an alien, they've fallen down on their jobs. So
yeah.
So Tay, what would you give this?
Oh man, you know, I don't know, and I saw this a couple of days ago. I really, really, really liked it though. I mean, I thought it was really cool, and I was like, man, this is actually a pretty good, again, an hour and a half movie.
Love an hour.
Pretty much all action.
Tight 90.
It was like pretty
Action and butt cheeks.
Yeah, I was like, I will say, okay, I feel the older I get, every time I watch a movie, I always will pick some small thing, and it makes me giggle because I'm like, man, this person or this, there were so many decisions that had to be made to get this movie made, and for some reason, this guy fell in it. But it was not the main evil guy, but the evil guy's sidekick.
His number two.
Yeah, his number two.
The mohawk?
Yeah, his little red mohawk. It was big.
Football.
Yeah,
a lot of football.
His
there too.
His little blonde friend.
Yeah.
Oh, his twink died.
Did not make it. But I could not stop laughing. Rest in peace. And it was like, but I thought it was so funny that like that guy was cast. And it was like, hey, here's the deal, man. You're going to be on the back of this bike. You're going to be his.
You're gonna be his bitch.
You're gonna be his friend.
Yeah.
You're gonna be wearing your nipples are gonna be out. You're gonna be wearing some S&M stuff, and it was like
your nipples are gonna be out exclusively.
And I'm sure he's like, great man, this is great. I'm going to Mad Max 2. You know, he's probably Australian. He's like, great. What are my lines? Ooh, no lines, but you will get hit in the head with a boomerang.
Yeah,
and he was like. In. Yeah, and just like that poor bastard. Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know why. Like when he died, I'm like, that fucking sucks. It's like because that dude really probably was like, hey man, his agent, hey dude, we got you a casting. It's Mad Max 2. He's like, fuck. Yes, this is my career. It's
you think
changing.
This man had an agent? He was found it in a bar. He was found in a bar.
That is true. That is true.
Hey, mate, 500 Aussie bucks.
Yeah, and a Faustus.
Yeah.
It's like, yes.
Little wolf boy's going to throw a boomerang at your head.
Yeah. I don't know why. That one scene, unfortunately, made me giggle so hard. I'm like, that poor bastard. He's like, had so many hopes and dreams, then boom, out in, not even the second act.
Yeah.
It was like.
He's decently into.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second act.
I just thought it was funny. But I like this film a lot. I don't know how I would rate it because I don't know if I would say this is
it's
like.
It's a hard one to rate.
It is. It's like, if it's like, man, this is the one you have to watch.
Yeah.
Like, because I've never seen Thunderdome. Yeah.
It was fun too.
Yeah.
With, Tina Turner as a villain.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Now I got to watch it, I think.
Yeah.
For what I enjoyed watching it, I don't know how I would place it in cinematic history, even though I do think that it did very well. They might have put it in I don't know if it was Library of Congress, but I know it's
Criterion, maybe?
It was. Yeah, maybe I think people really were impressed by that for what they did with the special effects or lack thereof. It was like just naturally crashing cars.
Yeah.
But I would say, as much as I enjoyed it, I'm 7.5, 8, maybe even on the 8 scale of like just a more of an iconic movie or impressed of what they did for what it was.
With the resources.
With the resources. I was like, man, they really like kind of, built this little city. They built this, or little city, but they built this little town. They
blew it up.
And then they blew it up. And it was like, and again, all the chase scenes, I was like, man, this is pretty cool. I was like,
you think they just found like one real oil derrick in the middle of like Australia, and they're like, we can make a movie with this.
We got to blow it up.
Yeah. But so I probably have more of a 7.5. Well, I wouldn't say it was an 8, but I would say 7.5.
Yeah.
You know, you talked about the number 2 in the gang. I think the real underappreciated guy is the Shmi, like the guy who's basically like every villain in anything that has a whole gang has one guy who's like his number 2 is like his like office admin.
Yeah.
Like he's not a fighter. He's not intimidating at all. He wears the little glasses. He's like the one guy who's like, no, we have to do this. I have the quill and you can't be doing this. He's that character.
I know.
Every movie.
Oh, that's a perfect,
And he gets his fingers cut off. And then he like...
And everyone laughs at him.
Everyone laughs at him.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
And then like they all start driving away and he's like scrambling for a car. And he ends up like in the back of like a truck just like... whoa, whoa, whoa. No one addresses the fact that he got his fingers cut off. They just like laugh.
Yeah, laugh like...
All right.
Yeah.
Smee got his fingers cut off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah, it's weird. Like you said, there's always got to be that bootlicker guy that like his job is to be like that sort of.
I think that's what I would be in like an apocalypse situation. Is like I'd be like the books guy. Like I'm not a fighter, but I can wear a little nightcap and read you your mail for the day.
It's like when the bad guy shoots a jackrabbit with a bow and arrow. You're like, see what he did there?
You see what he did there?
Awesome was that?
That's great.
Yeah, look at that rabbit.
I loved the Wolf Boy. We didn't talk about him.
I know.
Yeah.
Just this random feral child that doesn't talk. Spoilers. It turns out to be the narrator the whole time.
Yeah.
Like you're seeing the whole movie from his perspective.
He's got a cool Australian accent.
I thought it was Michael Caine at first. And I was like, is Michael Caine narrating this movie?
Sure as hell was.
I was like...
I'd give it a whole nother star.
Yeah.
The Road Warrior.
I know. I was like, wait, what is this?
Yeah, I just love the feral kid. Also, another like tie to Waterworld. You just have a random kid.
Yeah. That was...
Just like,
and I don't know how legal it was to have his butt cheeks exposed a couple times.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man.
There's a sweet spot where if you're below an age, butt cheek is fine.
Yeah.
But if you're above an age, butt cheek's not fine until you get to a certain age at which butt cheek is fine.
But he's also a wolf boy. So you're talking about wolf boy butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Kind of a gray area.
I know.
Gray wolf area.
Exactly. You're kind of in that weird in between,
Yeah.
Little coyote boy.
Little coyote boy butt cheeks. No, yeah, just a little feral kid with like a boomerang and like the glove to catch the boomerang. I love that guy.
So, and did I miss? Did he have parents?
No one does.
No.
Yeah, he was just some random kid. Okay, that's
No one
did
does.
I
Yeah.
miss
He's just with the community. You know?
Yeah.
So what would you give it?
I like this movie a lot. I think it's a fun, like you said, tight 90. Love a tight 90 movie.
And the other thing I do love about this, I for some reason love any movie. Like I thought that sometimes my TV will like jump forward. Like if I push play and it's like, it just jumps to the end. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah.
But when someone starts with the title of a movie in 5 seconds, yes. I mean, when it just boom. I was like, it's like they're already letting you know that you're here, you're watching the movie. And now we're starting. We're going. And I was like, okay, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that they start the movie with, you see the 18-wheeler, like his whole like running with the bad guys. He sees the 18-wheeler, clocks it, keeps moving. And then he's like, damn it. All right. Later in the movie, he's like, I know where there's an 18-wheeler.
Yeah.
It's like 20 minutes from here.
Yeah.
You know, you get the plot device of the helicopter guy and like being able to kind of like move with him. And that kind of plays into it a lot. I think it's a tight script. There's not a lot of dialogue. It's very concise. It's well written. It's very well directed.
It's lean. And I love a lean movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For an action movie, like it's not overly action where you're just like, it's dudes fighting the whole time.
Yeah.
It's like even a car chase, there's plot behind the car chase where there's, depth to it. And there's like stuff that goes into it where you're like, it's really well thought out.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate George Miller's like, this is his foray into, bigger stuff. And this is kind of like a good intro point for him if you want to start like a watch of like all of his stuff.
Yeah.
Because like the first one is so lean. Like it's like the Kevin Smith of Australian movies,
It's the maxed out credit card version.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He put everything into just like getting out there. And then this is him actually like having a budget and seeing what he can do.
And then Thunderdome is much, much bigger.
Yeah. This is his Mallrats and Thunderdome is like his Jan Silent Bob Strike Back.
Yeah.
And
then, by the time you get to Fury Road, you're off scale. You're talking about $150 million.
Yeah. That's beyond Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
That's straight up just like I love Fury Road. Fury Road's a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
And honestly, the prequel to that, Furiosa, is really good.
I haven't seen that.
Really, really
Yeah.
good.
It's good.
So, I mean, I give this, like you said, I probably give this an 8.
Yeah.
Just for what it is, like where it, just the iconic stance that it has in history and like for what it is, it's really good. My mom, for the record, gave it a 5.
Wow. Yeah.
She wanted me to throw that out there.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
Agree to disagree. You know?
With my mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is. This is one of those films where I think it would be harder for me to sit there if your question was, what didn't you like? It would take me a long time.
You got to think about it.
Yeah. I'd be like, oh shit, what didn't I like about it? And it would take me a while to like figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like being, what didn't I like? Well, yeah. So it's just that good of a movie.
It's really well thought out, and it doesn't leave a lot of like you said, gripes. Like
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of issue with what they did.
I wish that Mel Gibson had hooked up with that warrior lady with the big shoulder pads.
Not necessary.
Not necessary.
It's not necessary.
But their kids would have had the most bitchin' shoulder pads ever.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Big, burly, like linebacker
Big
shoulder
old
pads.
shoulder pads.
Yeah. For me, this is a 10. This is a nostalgia movie. I loved this movie as a kid. It's one of my favorite movies. It's the 14-year-old boy. Like, it's the ultimate action movie. You know, it was like so much fun. I watched it over and over and over. I wore it out. But yeah, it's a perfect, like, you know, kind of a, like you said, like a shoestring action movie. You know, it checks all the boxes. It's a lot of fun. And I've loved going back to it and watching it every time.
Is there a comparable movie in your mind that's like a similar budget but quality?
Man, that's tough. Like to match this in terms of 4.5 million, that's difficult because most of the ones I would put that could match this in quality are going to be a lot more expensive films.
Yeah.
So, I mean, stuff like, you know, even like Raiders of the Lost Ark and like action movies that are as good action movies, but, you know, are probably $30 million, and Spielberg and
Sound
Harrison
stages
Ford.
and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, THX sound systems and Industrial Light and Magic and yada, yada, yada. You got to spend a lot of money to match what he did for this. So this is a classic, a classic to me. So I'd say this is a 10 out of 10. Fury Road's a 10 out of 10 for me too. So there's two.
Yeah. Fury Road's an easy 10 for me.
Yeah. I put Furiosa at about an 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put Furiosa closer to a 9. I think it's just a beautiful movie. I don't think it got enough recognition for what it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was just like the timing of when it came out, like the competition that was around there,
They didn't
or it was just
publicize
kind of
it very well.
It wasn't well marketed, and I think it was because it was one of those like movies that kind of fell in the gray area of COVID. Like,
Yeah.
it was kind of like
I was going to say,
2023.
Yeah. Ish.
Like I think they pushed it back. Like they stopped promoting movies for a while and kind of waited to release stuff.
Yeah. And maybe some confusion because they recast Furiosa. That may have created a little bit of confusion. People looking for Charlize Theron.
I guess.
Charlize Theron.
I think it's Theron.
I believe it's Theron, but we can look this up.
Well, she doesn't watch or she doesn't listen to the podcast.
No, that's true.
No.
We won't offend her.
But if she does, let us know.
Yeah.
So you're 7.5?
7.5, 8, but leaning more to the higher end of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7.75.
There you go.
There you go. I'm an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll give this a 10. So this is all time. This is an easy 10 for me. It's an all time favorite movie of mine. It's high on my list. So, but yeah, it's been another episode of Cinema Vino. We got Mr. Black's Little Book, 2017, Barossa Shiraz, 15% alcohol, big, burly, meaty,
The beefy boy.
Australian red. I don't know, honestly, what food you would do this with. It's so burly.
Even steak, I feel like this would overpower steak.
Yeah.
You need something like steak fajitas.
I'd almost say just do this as a standalone wine and get yourself a good buzz.
Yeah.
This is just
For 15. Yeah.
just
I mean, you could be,
talking shit on the back porch. Just,
That color is just interesting. It's a bright purple color.
Yeah.
It's a good looking wine.
And it's not like see-through at all. I mean, it is murky.
Yeah.
I mean, you save this. I mean, you could be trading, get some goods for this in the apocalypse.
Oh, yeah.
Post-apocalypse. And
This is easily worth
oh, yeah.
2, 3 Wolf Boys.
Yeah.
You're gonna get a boomerang in the head if you're going around with a satchel full of red wine. Yeah. You and your twink both are getting a boomerang to the head.
Somebody's losing some fingers over this.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Oh yeah, if you're a little smee guy, yeah, you're losing. all your
Oh,
fingers.
yeah.
Yeah, you'll be real tough to swirl your wine glass after the.
Poor Shmee. He couldn't even shut the guy up. Like the number 2 had to come in and headbutt him. So if this was a video game, his special move was headbutt.
Oh yeah.
Because like he headbutted like 3 or 4 people, and it was just like so.
Hey,
like
know your strengths.
yeah, he was just headbutt.
Yeah. And car to car gymnastics.
Yep. Yeah.
Now that's a band name. Car to car gymnastics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Or Cheeks Per Minute. That's another band.
That
Cheeks
is,
per
yeah.
Minute, the first album by Car to Car Gymnastics.
But great movies, only drunker. Tune in next time. We're going to do a very different film for our sci-fi series. Now for something completely different.
They're pretty similar.
Similar time period and similarly influential. So, but yeah, tune in next time. We got Sean Jordan,
Hey.
Taylor Owens.
Yo.
Travis is somewhere working on his wainscoting.
He's stuck in cement.
Yeah.
That's why he couldn't get out. He texted me.
Yeah, he's trying to write his initials in there and just got stuck.
Yeah, he's stuck.
He has a lot of initials.
Yeah.
That's very true. But we will see you guys next time.
Bye.